There's an estimated 65 million shipping containers in the world with only 2 to 5% increase yearly. Now we need to cut a hole so that we can make a roll-up door, with the desired looking like this exterior and this interior. Check it out. Right where this ladder is, there's going to be a hole. 6'10" plus the 2 inches for my tube, and 8'3". This is a 9-foot container, so we got plenty of room. Right here towards the middle, there's going to be a big hole.
Wow, what a hole.
We're going to put a roll-up door. We're going to do lots of grinding. Let's do it. Tools you will need: an angle grinder with the paddle switch, of course, safety first. From Benchmark Abrasives, a 50-pack of cutoff blades. I believe this is only 25. I'm not going to go through that many, but it's better to load up. Fantastic deal on those. Benchmark Abrasives grinding shield. I'm probably due for a new lens. Some earplugs because it will be loud and echoey, especially in here. The square, keep all your lines. Kneeling pad for down low, and a ladder for up high. A level. And probably your most important is your measurements. Now I'm going to be using 2" by 3" square tubing, so I add the 2 inches on the sides. The bottom will not get threshold. It's going to be flush cut on the bottom. The top will get 2 inches. Anyway, stay tuned. The cutting part is kind of boring, but it's very important to get it square and level. I almost forgot. Another tool that you want if you're working by yourself, they call them a mag switch. So if you got nobody else there to help you hold your tape measure, you can easily find your center point, 49.5, which is right on the money. I highly recommend you guys pick one of those up. Here we are, 8'3". Very nice. Make sure your corners are square, you're level, and let's start grinding. Also, if you're where there is no power, this is another tool you need, a generator. This is not the best, but it works. It's only got 6,500 watts. You got 110 here, 220 there for welding. There's my adapter. I got the welding adapter in a separate video, but yeah, you got to have a generator if you're in the middle of nowhere. Gloves, I almost forgot gloves. Get yourself a good pair of gloves. Welder's gloves is better because you have better wrist protection. And we're going to start by removing that one and that one. Double check and triple check your center point and your height and width. Always inspect all of your gear and make sure there are no frayed wires or cables. And double check there's fuel in the generator. Always use 2 hands on the grinder. Finally got this 8-foot section by 7-foot piece out, and it's better to cut it in half so it's easier for transport. How much do you guys wear your grinding discs out until you change them out? I think I got my money's worth out of this one. These tubes are absolutely marinated in oil from the manufacturer, which is fine because that prevents rust. But before you weld them or paint them, you got to take lacquer thinner or acetone, some disposable gloves and rags, and wipe these down because they are slicker than snot. There's just a fraction of all the grease. Now, the roll-up door company wanted me to use 18 gauge, but not only was it out of stock, but I got 14 gauge, which is even better. Heavy duty is better. So 14 gauge by 2" by 3". And this is even more heavy duty than recommended. If anything, you want to upgrade. So yeah, 2" by 3" is the recommended framing for these shipping containers. And we're gonna go work on that one. What do you think? This grinding disc still has potential? Well, time for a new one. Fortunately, Benchmark Abrasives has more. Look at that. I gotta grind that down a little bit more smooth. That's where the tie down point was. I gotta finish smoothing that out. Keep on going all the way down so you have a nice flush flat bottom for the roll-up door. All right, the door is all secure on this shipping container. No one's gonna break in. Oh wait, look at all these shipping containers for rent or sale. And you know what? This looks like an excellent place to play paintball gun, except you'd need to clean it all up. So maybe not so much. But anyway, if I was in the market to buy or rent these containers, this is it. I mean, look it, you got 9'6". That's excellent. Plenty of storage overhead, underneath. You could even build bunk beds in here. The possibilities of making a tiny home is unlimited. Stay tuned. If you guys are working by yourself and you don't have anybody to hold the tape for you, trust me, this mag switch is the way to go. Look at that. It's never gonna fall off because the magnetic hold is so strong. So strong. It's a couple, 1 inch short of 20 feet, but this is considered a 20-foot container. So we're gonna find center on the outside and the inside and go from there. I did find that it is easier to cut the bottom on the outside because your grinder can hang down low and you can cut right above that weld. Now you're gonna have to take a grinding disc and grind the bottom weld out smooth, but for the sake of cutting it, you definitely want to cut the bottom from outside, because cutting the bottom on the inside, you have to angle it right there. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now you got your laser straight line on the top all the way, and make sure it's level. I went ahead and measured from the bottom every few inches just because the corrugated decking, I didn't want it to risk going up or down a 1/4 inch. But to do this more efficiently, you can use a laser level, which the acoustic tile guys use. Acoustic laser levels can range from a couple hundred to a couple $1,000. But for even more precision accuracy, you can do that. But if you don't have a laser level, you just keep on measuring your same rough height so you can get your finish height, and you connect the dots all the way down so you can, and then you stand back and you can see it's all the same line. All right, it's a nice day, although it's a Sunday because I don't have time during the week, but we're gonna take this machine and my 100-foot extension cord with my generator and go clear back there and get the framing done for the roll-up door. Stay tuned. It's gonna be so nice. All right, floor to ceiling, we're gonna go at 91.5. All right, so we're actually gonna cut a groove. We're gonna cut that little groove out on this side, and then it's in a different spot on this side, because on the top of the corrugated decking, I guess you call it, the siding, it's got a diagonal. So we're gonna cut the top out so that my framing can go from the bottom all the way up to the top corner where I grinded that spot out. That's where we're tying it in on the top inside. All right, before we make our cuts, of course, measure twice and cut once, right? Now, the most common type of steel tubing, I'll use this as an example, is 2 inches by 3 inches. This is 14 gauge, which is more heavy duty than the requested 18 gauge. Now, as you can see, the bottom lip here, it's only 2 inches wide. So some people have the 3 inches like that, but you can also rotate this direction. It's just a matter of personal preference. Please leave a drop in a comment to let me know which you guys prefer, this direction or this direction. Looking up at the top, I've got a groove on one side of the tube closer to the corner and a groove closer to the middle to match the sloped groove on the top. What we're gonna do is slide that all the way up. We'll slide it all the way up to the top, And we'll get it lined up here shortly and then do some tack welds. All right, it is late at night. The sun has gone down. So the top of this roll-up door on the inside, they need 3 inches, but the tube is only 2 inches. It's 3 inches the other way, but it's more structurally sound. But what I'm going to do is supplement this piece. This is scrap that I cut in half because the manufacturer, they need another piece. Grinded a bevel right there so that way that fits nice. So this piece will allow the upper spring assembly to bolt on. They need something to screw it into without the screws going through the exterior. So I'm going to get that in place. It is 10:30 at night. Call me crazy, but I really wanted to get this done. I took some zinc-rich primer and primed all the welds. That way when I caulk it, the caulk doesn't rust. After that sets up, I will come back with finished paint, which will be tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, as any painter knows, you always let the caulking dry, at least the best you can before you start painting. And of course, my paint will be the DTM. We're going to be using this multi-surface Pro Industrial. It's actually a step better than DTM. So we're going to come back after that dries and get all that beige done. But this machine has never let me down. I also caulked above the top on the inside as well. I know it looks like garbage right now, but trust me, after it's all painted, it'll look fantastic. Framing is done. It looks like factory finishes, and if you look up here, it's all welded, silicone, painted, touched up. We gave the roll-up door guy 3 inches on the side above the top so he can tie in for the spring assembly. The paint from all my welding matches beautifully. So the inside is done and the outside is done, and it looks so good. It looks like it came that way. Check it out. This is the final look. The desired look of what you want in a roll-up door on a shipping container. The framing goes all the way to the top corner beam, all the way to the bottom, as requested by the roll-up door guy. And that maximizes the structural integrity from top to bottom. And what that does is on the inside, here I'll show you. Here we are on the inside. And previously I had mentioned to add 3 inches above the top corners so that it accommodates that spring bracket. So you see how I welded an extra tube there? So that's what you want. That's the desired look. Roll-up door guys are happy. The owner is happy. So they got something to tie into right there. Very nice. Couldn't ask for better. It turned out so good. Look how easy it rolls down.
Okay, let's go.